Yes, yes, yes. All right, Bobby, we'll put this here in if you can. Help me with this. I got this. Well, thank you. Thank you. Yep. How you doing, everyone? Good to have you here today. Got a big show lined up. Swing that microphone around and let's roll. Not like Roll Tide, who lost Oklahoma. Yeah, I'm wearing it's cold out here, huh, Bobby?
A little bit.
You got a winter hat on?
Oh, I always do that.
I walked the dog today. It was cold, man. It was cold. Cold here is different than cold in other places because it never gets cold. So when it gets a little bit cooler, you feel it. You feel it. How about the Chargers losing last night? Yep. Let me get the tweet out. We still use Twitter. Even though Elon, if you like Elon, I love Elon. Elon's making me money with Tesla, so I don't care. Not everybody loves Elon. I don't care who you like. I don't care what your politics are. I just like to use Twitter, X, even though I've been dealing with more trolls than ever, man. More trolls than ever. Chickies and Pete's. Cranberry sauce sucks. You would agree with that, Bobby? Cranberry sauce. You don't even eat it on Thanksgiving. I don't. It's there.
How much more turkey stuffing and gravy guy?
I'm a big stuffing guy. Like the turkey. My wife makes some Midwest noodles. Chris in West Oakland, a shot of Crown. No, I got my Big D here. Big D's one of the Bricktators with me. He takes a look. I got a bunch of trolls coming after me on the YouTube channel, man, saying I'm a cheerleader. I'm a cheerleader because I want the team to win. Wow. I'm a shill because I want the team to win. I'm crazy because I want to win. I'm a bad guy. Yeah, so Bobby said if I sent everyone a pay stub, they'd shut the hell up. You're right about that.
Really, dude? Oh, wow. Okay.
Some people would have liked me to lose my Raider job like 10 years ago, and then I wouldn't be talking. I wouldn't have a forum.
Yeah, that's why you saw in the fucking mom's basement.
Yep. Just win, baby. Just keep it close, baby. Now, I understand that. Yeah, man, the Chargers lost last night, and when they went up early in that game, I tweeted out Lamar Jackson looked like he was in a fog, and he flipped the switch in a big way. A VGK, I listened to the broadcast. I texted Lawless. Great job with that. Eichel, yeah. Yep.
Yeah, came back with 3 goals down.
They're a hell of a hockey team. We got a lot going on. UNLV is in the playoff. Well, they're on the verge of getting in the playoff if they win.
Sound off and react for over 20 years.
It's the JT the Brick Show, broadcasting live from the Finley Cadillac Performance Studio.
Raiders bring a blitz. He takes up off the middle, and he's wrapped up from behind. Max Crosby.
Your silver and black home to sound off for over 20 years.
Open at the 35, racing to the 20, 10,
Now, here's JT the Brick.
Yeah, where is everybody? Let's go. It's Chiefs week. Happy Thanksgiving week to everybody listening to the show or watching it on our live stream where you can watch the show live. Yes, as I have on a wintry vest and my aviator's hat today, a little bit cooler in Vegas as the temperature's starting to drop, which we get to 115 in the summer. 115 in the summer. So when it gets a little bit cool and you're able to go out there and maybe put on a long sleeve or a vest, it's kind of fun. So that's where we're at here in Vegas. Hope everybody's doing well. Big show today. YouTube, you can subscribe for free. JT the Brick YT as we continue to build that platform along with the Raiders mobile app. LVSportsNetwork.com or the good old radio, Bobby. You know, people still listen to the radio. Everybody's scared in our business now that the radio's going away. When Marconi made the radio, he didn't put an expiration date on it in the 2020s. Your radio's still in your car. You got your favorite dial. You know where to go. You know where to get it. And that's it. And then we give you other options. That Raiders mobile app's amazing because you can hear it. I had someone in the chat, Bobby, say, I love it on the app, but I hear too many Woodson bourbon whiskey commercials. Right. Sorry, I don't load the spots, but I am a proud partner of Charles Woodson and Woodson bourbon whiskey. And we always open up the show with the monologue. PT's Fuels the Monologue because they've been my longest standing partner on this show. And we got 18 of them now. That's a world record in radio. That's not a Vegas radio record. It's a world record. So we got a lot of partners we want to thank, and we give thanks to them always, especially the holiday season here. So for those who jumped in earlier, you know what I want to talk about. We're on to Kansas City. I have a PhD in the Kansas City Chiefs. I am a nationally known expert on the Kansas City Chiefs. I'm really one of the only people on God's green earth, everywhere from China, South America, Pakistan, who knows how to stop the Chiefs. Me, that's it. Because I've been doing it for so long, and I tell coaches, I tell players, I tell analysts, I tell you, I tell everybody, say it with me. Try to say it before me, because you listen to the show. You know, what am I about to say? I'll give you a countdown, 5 seconds. What am I about to say about stopping Kansas City? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Put your hands on Kelsey. That's all I say every time. That's it. I got nothing more. I got nothing left. Misdirection, eye candy, misdirection. Even the coaches say it. They know it. But for whatever reason, put your hands on Kelsey should be a T-shirt. And it's just something I've been saying since he built his Hall of Fame legacy against the Oakland and Las Vegas Raiders. That's it. Just put your hands on him. If he beats you, he beats you. He's getting older. He is getting older. He's not as fast as he used to be. Does anybody here old enough in the chat or on the radio understand what George Atkinson used to do to Russ Francis? If you don't, go to YouTube. George Atkinson, who weighed 180 pounds, would go up to Russ Francis, one of the best tight ends in the league, Pro Bowler. And on the first play of the game, he would come down from the safety position and literally start pounding away at him. Now, back then, it was a little bit of a dirtier league. Sometimes you could get away with a 15-yarder because the ref didn't see it, and they didn't have something called replay, and they didn't have 15 television cameras staring at you. And Atkinson and Tatum would just finish off these tight ends. They'd say, if you come over the middle of the field, we are going to put your life in jeopardy. We are going to hurt you. We are going to physically put our hands on you. And it worked. And the greatest era of the history of the Raiders had George Atkinson and Jack Tatum. Yeah. Soul Patrol 1 and 2. Physical play, different time, but they put their hands. And if they were able to play now, they'd put their hands on Kelsey. That's all I care about on Friday. There's going to be a play when it's going to be 1st and goal at 6, at the 6-yard line for Kansas City. Kelsey's going to line up at tight end. No one will be in front of him. He'll run like a deer or a doe in the forest, untouched, and Mahomes will just flip it to him unless they put their hands on him, and it won't happen. And then they'll have to move the ball to someone else. So that's one thing that I want to talk about now is just put your damn hands on Kelsey and make him have a tougher day because the Swifties are going to be there. They are now officially the biggest bandwagon in sports, and they deserve that. I'm going to talk about this later in the second hour because I went fishing for idiots today. I said, hey, let's get behind Aiden O'Connell going into the game. And I got Raider fans saying no, which is incredible. They have nicknames like Raider Blank and Raider Ricky and Raider Mikey and all this, and they don't want Aiden O'Connell to play well. Luckily, it's a small minority of fans. But Aiden looks to be next man up. He was the last quarterback to go in there and win. He didn't throw a touchdown. He didn't complete a pass in the second, third, and fourth quarter, and I could give a crap. All I care about is winning. And Aiden's back at it again. And that's not going to be easy for Aiden. That's a tough spot to be thrown in. I mean, Desmond Ridder was thrown into a really tough spot at the end of the game when Gardner Minshew broke his collarbone. That was a really tough spot to put him in. And, I think he did all right. They got it down to the goal line. I can't believe they got it down to the goal line and they couldn't backdoor cover getting it down there. But the Raiders aren't very good in the red zone. They're not very good in the red zone. And I've given you that reason too, because they don't throw the ball in the end zone much. And they don't have a running game. So when you usually get in the red zone, you can run it in, like the Baltimore Ravens or the Chargers. You can run it in, or you can throw it in the end zone. What the Raiders have been doing is they've been checking down in front of the end zone, and their players get tackled. So they end up with field goals or they turn it over. So with Kansas City, what's going to be fun about this game on Friday, the Black Friday game, is we're all going to spend time with our families. The Raiders are going to have to spend Thanksgiving in Kansas City, but Mark Davis puts out the spread. They'll all be taken care of well. Players are really taken care of during the holidays, but it's tough to have to travel on Thanksgiving to play the day after. And then everyone in Raider Nation, if you're able to get Prime, Amazon, I guess. I don't know if it's on TV locally in Vegas, but Amazon, I don't know. If someone let me know. I think in the rest of the country, you have to have it on Amazon. Do we get it for free in Vegas? We might. I don't know exactly the ramifications there, but if you're going to watch the game, most of the country will not watch this game because most of the country does not have Amazon. Right. See, everybody thinks they're rich. No, we have people that are trying to pay their gas bill. Yeah. They're trying to pay their electric bill. They don't have Amazon. They don't have Amazon Prime, but you do, and you think everybody has it. Not a lot of people are going to watch this game, and the ones who do, a lot of them are going to pay for this platform to watch the Chiefs because they're the world champs. And they have one loss this year. So I'd like to see the Raiders go out there and play free, rack up the score, have a good game, keep it close, and if they win, great. If they lose, they continue this losing streak. But let it be said, and I'm going to spend more of my energy on it next hour. If you are a football fan, any fan who watches the NFL other than the Chief fans, and the Chiefs never had a lot of fans until recently. They had fans, but they weren't a national brand. And don't ever push back on that. The Chiefs were never a national brand in the National Football League. Never. They were a regional team, and now they're national because they're a dynasty. Well-deserved, and they brought in Taylor Swift, who didn't add hundreds of thousands or millions of fans. She added tens of millions of fans. That's the definition of a bandwagon. So back to my point, if you're a football fan and can hear my voice, you want to beat Kansas City. This is not a Raider topic. This is for everybody who plays Kansas City, right? If we ever get to the point where we are dealing with numbskulls who don't want to beat Kansas City on any football team, just get them out of your life. Because there are only a few of those. If you don't want to beat the Kansas City Chiefs in a parking lot, neutral, Arrowhead, Vegas, and you come up with some silly, drunk idea that beating the Chiefs isn't a good thing, leave your fan base. Just leave it, because everybody wants you to leave. And this is not a Raider topic. This is for everybody, because people like to clip. They like to take this out of context. JT's telling all Raider fans to quit if they don't want to beat the Chiefs. No. I'm just saying, don't be stupid. Go beat Kansas City. Kind of give them some Raider nastiness, and it'll have no effect on the draft. I promise you. We're either going to pick the right guy or the wrong guy. Anybody tell you that too? Yeah. There's a thing called the draft where these college kids get in their shorts and underwear and they get tested and measured and all that, and you just say a prayer and you go, I hope we got the right guy. So normally, a win or a loss doesn't have a big effect on that guy. But we're living in a time now because of mass media, mass social media, video games, where young kids who are listening to me get to draft their own Madden team. They get to pick their players on Madden. They believe they can draft an NFL team. and they believe that losing at an enormous rate will help them get that player. I can't convince them anything else. I am really tired on the topic. I just want to beat Kansas City. So if you want to beat Kansas City, let's do a show today on how to do it. I think the Raiders' only chance on winning the game. Don't tell me you want to redefine the running game. I like Sasir McCormick. Who's ever up and ready to go, they're going to run the ball a little bit. They are. The way they're going to win this game is Brock Bowers. Brock Bowers' last game was kind of bracketed against Denver. Nice job by Denver. Denver also has Patrick Surtain, who could take 1/3 of the field away, 1/3 of the field away. So it's easier if he's guarding Jacoby, who had a good game, and Trey Tucker, but they concentrated more on Brock. So let's get back to Brock and Big Mike. When are we going to see this game that everybody's been telling me about, where Bowers has 11 receptions and Michael Mayer has 9? Why does Brock get to have 11 and Mayer 1? Let's get Brock 10 and Mayer 7. I've been reading and seeing about this double tight end 12 personnel. We don't have a mobile quarterback in Aiden. So just do some quick 3-step drops and get it to Brock and Mayer. Move the chains. But you got to take a deep shot. Because if you don't, you're paying disrespect to the legend Cliff Branch, who was a friend of mine, and Mark Davis's old roommate. You got to take a shot. Can you imagine Al Davis going to a football game in Arrowhead, sitting right up there with the camera on him in the booth, and no deep balls? You imagine that? Mark wants the deep ball. Get the ball in the air. Let Aiden fade back. Get the ball out the way Gannon did. Gannon didn't throw 60 yards in the air. 30 yards in the air was good enough for Rich. Throw a deep ball or two. Open it up. Play a little bit faster. And again, you have my permission in this game, not that anybody wants it, but if you're facing a 4th and 2 on the Raiders side of the field, you have the longest losing streak currently in the NFL. Go for it. Did you see the A.J. Cole fake punt? Great. Why didn't we do that when we were 2 and 2? Okay, do it. Let's have some fun. Let's open it up. Let's take some chances. Let's play reckless. Let's fly around. If you get a 15-yarder for a late hit, unfortunate. Don't want to injure anybody. Never want anyone injured. But play with a little bit of violence, a little bit of aggression, and go do something and shock the world. That would make my post-Thanksgiving Friday tremendous. And if the Raiders lose the game, we know where the Raiders stand. And there'll be some fans on the internet thrilling, throwing parties, putting up emojis that the team lost because we're going to get a better draft pick. And you might be right. This might be the year that if the Raiders lose more games down the stretch, they get a better draft pick. They do, but I don't do that. I sit here and wait for the draft. And I realize that, they're going to either get a good player or not with the first pick. They're either going to get fortunate enough to get a really good player, or they're going to draft a player that hopefully is a foundational piece, but it won't matter if it's the 3rd, 4th, 2nd, 5th pick. Look at Brock Bowers. We got one of the greatest players we've ever brought in. I repeat, in the history of this organization, 65 years, we brought in one of the greatest players ever in the draft because there was no chance we should have got him. 13th pick overall. What a joke for Brock. He came to us. It was a gift from the sports god. We got him. That's a foundational, generational player. Way to go, Tom Telesco. For those who said, well, he dropped to the Raiders. No, he didn't. You can say that about Justin Herbert and Derwin James and all the other good players that Tom has drafted in the first round. He got them. That's on Tom Telesco's resume. Jackson Powers-Johnson, DJ Glaze. I think these are players that the Raiders are going to build around for years to come. But now the Raiders are in a situation where I believe they're going to have to not sign players. I repeat, not re-sign players who you might like because they're not good enough long-term for this organization and what they're going to do next. Not everybody gets a contract. This isn't Oprah. Everybody gets re-signed. Everybody gets re-signed. You get a car. You get a car. No. That's not how it works. You have to be committed to excellence. You have to play with pride and poise. We know this isn't the championship era of the Raiders. We're all aware of that. But you play a certain way. And this organization is not looking to rebuild with Max Crosby. How dare you say rebuild in front of Max Crosby? You think Max Crosby wants to sit around for a rebuild? No. They want to reload again like they've been doing again and again and again, and just get it right this time. Young quarterback with tremendous upside who doesn't have to play instantly. A new running back in the 3rd or 4th round who comes in and can start, right? New running back, got to get a new running back in here maybe. New wide receiver, right? A young 22-year-old second-round wide receiver maybe who can run like the wind. I don't know. We did that with Trey Tucker. We don't throw it deep. Do we want to waste another pick on a guy if we're not going to throw it deep? Got to rebuild kind of the offensive line, depending on what happens with the future Colt Miller, who I think is a very good player, and I think he should be here. You signed Andre James. You got Dylan Parham on a contract that's favorable to the team. I think DJ Glaze is going to be good for years to come, and you got Jackson Powers Johnson. I hope Michael Mayer retains his job here. I think he will. And you got Brock Bowers. It's not bad. It's not bad for someone to look at the roster and say, man, we got how much money in free agency? The most or top 3? A lot of people don't like spending money in free agency because that's a desperate move. You normally have to overpay for players who their former teams don't want them, and you got to overpay to go get them. So when that happens, that could be risky, but I think we all know that there's going to be a big Christmas spending spree by Tom Telesco because he's got all that money and the team's not very good, so you got to go spend it. And then the Raiders are going to have high draft picks in every round because they're having a really bad season with the record, so they're going to pick high in every round and hopefully, maybe package some picks and move up and even get a better player. That's it. That's what I think's going on here. Kansas City, I think, is vulnerable to get beat. Carolina almost beat them. We got boat raced by Carolina. But we beat Baltimore, Raider Nation, and Baltimore looked pretty good last night. Beating Baltimore was pretty cool. Happy we beat Baltimore. Maybe some fans wanted to lose that game too. I was happy we beat Baltimore. That was the famous 12 minutes of Gardner Minshew. Yeah. The best 12 minutes of the year, the 4th quarter against Baltimore. So that's the monologue. It's kind of a happy-go weekend here. We got Duke and Kansas in my city tonight. Really? My son's like, Dad, we're going. I'm like, sure. I'm hemorrhaging. I'm spending money on everything. F1, birthday parties. You want to take me? You got a hell of a job. He goes, all right, Dad, I'm looking for tickets in the lower bowl. So they're reasonably priced. Maybe I go see Kansas Duke tonight. In my city, I saw F1 here in Vegas. Incredible. There are concerts everywhere. But I'm like everybody. I kind of want to shut it down, be with my family for Thanksgiving, have a nice couple of days, and then beat Kansas City. Chris in West Oakland, who will have some Crown Royal, I'm sure, before and after Thanksgiving.
Most definitely. I always do it. Always a little tradition with me and my father that I've carried on over the years. Have a shot of Crown Royal to watch the morning game on Thanksgiving. And also, JT, word of advice, take your son to that game tonight. Go see Cooper Flag, Duke and Kansas. One of the best college basketball games you're going to see. And I know you don't mind spending money, but listen, I'm not going to talk about the game. I didn't call yesterday. Only thing I'm going to say about the Bronco game, kind of the same story, just didn't make enough plays. Nice to see Tyree Wilson actually kind of showing up, showing some improvement here. One thing I want to say about Pierce, he's done it 2 games this year, a couple of times. No, sorry, I'm a little under the weather this week. Knowing you needed 2 scores down there, at some point with 30 or 40 seconds to go, you got to kick the field goal to give yourself a chance at an onside kick. Yeah, it's a long shot, but the clock management made it no shot because, hell, they didn't even get in the end zone and time ran out. But, again, not what cost them the game. It was a long shot. Just I'd like to see him learn from that moving forward. As far as the Chiefs games goes, you're right, man. Look, I get it. Maybe after the Chiefs game you start looking to the draft, but this is your rival. This is a team fighting for a three-peat, our arch nemesis. Mm-hmm. You got to go after these guys hard. I don't think there's a single player in the locker room or coach on the staff that's even thinking about the draft in April. And you're right about George Atkinson, man. Go back, for all the old Raider fans or young Raider fans, go look at the divisional playoff game in 1976, midway through the first quarter. George Atkinson broke Russ Francis' nose. He was never the same after that. You can't play football like that, but I would like to see them manhandle Travis Kelce a little bit. Take the old adage, look, dude, somebody else might beat us. Travis Kelce's not going to beat us. I don't care if you got to put 2 and 3 guys on him. I'm a little worried about O'Connell. Again, I'm not that excited about him. What worries me is him, being such a statue back there in Kansas City's fierce pass rush. I just hope he avoids turnovers. Pop a big play or two. Take a shot downfield because this offense has kind of proved, JT, we're not good on third downs. We're not going to put together 14 to 15 play drives. They need to get a couple of big chunk plays. Don't turn the ball over. And the one thing about the Chiefs, even though they're 10-1, every game is a close game. So hang tight. Maybe you can steal one at the end. Don't turn the ball over. Not going to predict a victory, but I do think the game will be closer than most people think. Real reason I called, man, just wanted to wish you, your family, and everybody out there a happy Thanksgiving, man. I'm thankful for our friendship we've had over the years that goes way beyond this radio show, and you allow me to get on here and blabber like an idiot all the time. So, to you and yours, man, happy Thanksgiving. Everybody be safe. Crown Royals and Modelo's, and eat that turkey, and let's go get a Raiders victory on Friday.
Thank you, Chris. Feel better, man. You don't sound good. You sounded good with your call, but you need to throw something back and take a day off and get healthy. That's what you do this time of year. Everybody hunkers down this time of year. We don't have a lot of bad weather here in Vegas. Getting a little cool out. Good time. The fireplace is going at my house, which is fun. Mike over at La Casa Cigars has got me loaded up with some holiday cigars and some Woodson bourbon whiskey. So everything's great. Everything's great. It's a tough year for Raider Nation. I know that. That's why I'm here on the radio. Not to be Raider therapist, but to go from week to week and talk football. That's what I get paid to do. I think we do it at a really high level with good guests who know a lot. Bill Williamson will join us coming up, the longest tenured Raider insider. Here at the bottom of the hour, Jeff Sherman over at the Westgate, the moving odds. The odds on the AFC and NFC championship and what's happening there, a gambling segment coming up. And then a little bit later on in the show, we have another guest coming up here. Bobby's loading me up today. So we'll just get this thing rolling and get as many people and callers on the air as possible, and everybody will be good. Yeah, Dalton Wasserman will join us. He was good the last time we had from Pro Football Focus. He's going to join us at the top of the hour. So, we're just trying to get through the season in a professional manner where we're talking football. I mean, this isn't politics. This isn't religion. This isn't brain surgery. It's football. It's supposed to enjoy it and have fun. Supposed to come together and want to win games and have a good time. That's it. Nothing else. Season's not a playoff year. It's on pace to be one of the worst seasons in Raider history. I'd like to stop that pace and trend and have a team fight to the end, figure out who's going to be here next year with the roster. And then we got a long off season, man. Woo! Uh-oh. We got a long off season. But maybe knocking the Chargers out of the playoffs or Denver could be, the pot of gold at the end of the rainbow. We'll figure it out. That's the monologue brought to you by Tito's Handmade Vodka, my go-to vodka. I have a Tito's on the rocks, have a Tito's and soda like I do with a lime. Some people say no fruit. Okay, you can have a lemon or a lime, whatever it takes. Tito's, proud partner of our show. If you'd like to get in, 702-365-9200. It's Chiefs week. They call it Raider week in Kansas City, and they take it real seriously. Maybe we should too.
Text him twice. He hasn't responded.
All right. All right. No news on the phone coming to delivery.
2 weeks.
2 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
The morning tailgate, weekdays at 7 a.m. on Raider Nation Radio, 9:20 a.m.
Yeah, the thing that pisses off Bobby more than anything is bad phone equipment. Bad phone equipment. Little inside story. Gruden, I think Antonio Pierce takes freaking Chiefs week very seriously.
In your area, Raising Cane's Chicken Fingers. One love.
This is Raider Nation Radio.
Epic Raider.
The home of Raider Nation.
Boyd Gaming is the official and exclusive local casino partner.
Anybody going shopping for turkeys? I got a nice turkey. Someone gave me a turkey, Bobby, and it was some type of, I think, radio connection. It was sealed in a box, sealed, so we're going to eat it.
Maybe
Not
one of the old The meat guy. Meat up
The
Vegas.
meetup guy. Maybe it was a.
We're sorry. Here, have a turkey.
Normally, you don't eat food delivered to your home, but this was sealed in a box, professionally done. But we'll see.
I'm going to Capriati's. I'm going to have a big old 12-inch sub.
Well, Capriati's has a great sub, the Thanksgiving Day sub. That what's it called? It's their famous one. What's that?
The Bobby.
The Bobby, right? The Bobby, no doubt.
Turkey, stuffing, and cranberry. Good for that.
Yeah.
Get a foot long one of those. Eat half Wednesday night. Savor the half of Thursday. Get the dogs some turkey.
Well, pack on some weight, and you can eat the whole thing. You can afford eating the whole thing. You got an appetite.
I'm going to take care of the dog too. But I got UNLV basketball Thursday night. That's why I'm not
Yeah.
doing the whole bit. Besides, Christmas is going to be better. Radio Nation Radio. Hey, Brady, I'll get you up. I got a couple ahead of you. Hold on.
Yep. Yeah, the refs always get in the way of this Kansas City Chief game.
I'm going to put that Crosby hit.
Well,
Coming back.
Chris Jones isn't concerned about JPJ. I can promise you that. And I love JPJ. He's going to have to really play a big game. I'm worried about our offensive line getting pushed backwards by Chris Jones. That's been a problem. Kevin says, how's tanking work throughout history? Anybody have evidence of it being a guarantee? I mean, the year that the Colts tanked to get Andrew Luck worked, but Andrew Luck ended up quitting the league. Andrew Luck's one of the best quarterbacks I've ever seen come into the league. He was great. Yeah, he just was too smart for football. He wanted to retire. That tank worked. Tanking works in the NBA. If you can get David Robinson or Tim Duncan, I get it. It could work. But it's tougher to figure out in football. Yeah, Bill texted me, okay.
Attention plumbers, HVAC, DIYers, and construction pros. McFadden Industrial Hardware has everything you need for your next project. Open early at South Decatur and Russell. McFadden Industrial Hardware, your one-stop shop to get the job done. McFadden Industrial Hardware. Get in, get out.
Please hit the like button and please hit share. Share it to some friends if you can.
Las Vegas Raiders at Allegiant Stadium. Bring your friends, have some fun. We're always down on black.
I'm still waiting on Bill.
Yeah, all right. He's not supposed to be here for another few minutes, so we're good.
Welcome back to the JT the Brick Show, brought to you by PT, the best happy hour in town, 5 to 7 p.m. and midnight to 2 a.m.
Hicks hands it off to Williams, and he's got one right away.
Crosby back at the 29, and for Max Crosby, an historic tackle for loss. That is number 100 in his career. He joins J.J. Watt, Aaron Donald, and DeMarcus Ware as the only players with 100 tackles for loss in their first 6 years.
Turn it up. That's Mad Max. That's a big milestone. You don't think Jason Horowitz knew that was coming? Let's go beat the Chiefs. Let's beat the Chiefs. Why wouldn't you want to beat the Chiefs? Why wouldn't you want to stop a dynasty for at least one day? Of course you do. Don't listen to the others. I'm winning. This is a just win baby game, no matter what. Beat the Chiefs and then go back and figure out what you want to do the rest of the schedule. Chiefs are a hell of a team. They're a dynasty. Whenever you play them, whoever you are, you want to beat them. Bill Williamson joins us, the longest tenured Raider insider that we have. And Bill, not a lot of optimism for the Raiders here other than bringing back Aiden O'Connell, considering Gardner Minshew is gone for the year. What do you think Aiden gives the Raiders a better chance? Because Gardner really struggled this year.
Yeah, I mean, I think the Raiders think he does, gives them the better chance because they replaced Minshew with O'Connell. We kind of forget that because it's been such a long, weird season. But, O'Connell runs the job, right? And doing okay, I guess. I think it's going to be really interesting this week because this is going to be his first time, his first week even practicing with Scott Turner as his offensive coordinator. Yeah, he's been in the program with Turner, so it's not completely new, but it's new that it's the first time he's been practicing with him as the offensive coordinator, and it's a short. And he's probably going to be limited today, I would think, and they're going to have to go to Kansas City, so it's going to be, it could be challenging on Friday at a good defensive team.
Yeah, it is. I think if you look at a quarterback like Aiden O'Connell coming off an injury, and he did beat the Chiefs last time, that means something. But this is the toughest spot you could get thrown into, is having to come back and being potentially rusty and have to play the world champs, who happen to be a dynasty. But what's the difference? I mean, Desmond Ridder, I like Desmond Ridder. I thought he should have been starting. I told you weeks ago, I thought he's a better quarterback, and I saw enough of Gardner Minshew. But I understand why they got to get Aiden as many reps as possible before the season ends, because he's going to be evaluated because he's on a cheap rookie contract to be here next year. Will that be as the backup? Will that be as the starter going forward, because the Raiders draft a better quarterback than him as a rookie? So you've been doing this a long time. How complicated is this, Bill, as the Raiders are looking for a quarterback that could be available even before the draft?
Yeah, I mean, it's complicated when you don't have a quarterback, as we've seen for the last 2 years. It's not easy. And next year's not supposed to be a great drafting class. Everybody's excited about Sanders. I know some people are excited about Ward. No guarantees these guys are going to be any good, and that goes every year. Until they figure it out, it's going to be a complicated situation. And I don't think there will, unless Aiden O'Connell has struggled this year. I mean, there's a reason why he didn't beat out Minshew in the first place. I don't think he's made much strides this year, and that's kind of disappointing. So unless he can play these last 6 games and look great, and then you start feeling differently. But is that realistic? So my point is, if he's going to be the starter next year, I don't think there's going to be a lot of optimism there. I think you try to improve upon that.
Bill Williamson's our guest, as he's kind enough to join us every 2 weeks. So, Bill, coming off the Denver game, that was my first chance. I saw Bo Nix play at Allegiant Stadium against Washington, and I knew about Bo Nix at Auburn and in college, but seeing him live is different. Man, he looked good. And I figured, Sean Payton's eventually going to get him right. I don't know what his ceiling is, but I know that where he's going to be for most of his career is an experienced quarterback, because he had more experience than any other college quarterback in starts to ever play in the NFL. And I think he proved that at Allegiant Stadium on Sunday. They were trailing at the half. They made halftime adjustments, and then he tore the Raiders up in the second half.
Yeah, I mean, he's a nice fit for Peyton. I think it's a good combo there. And, I have a post coming out. I think it's today. Everything runs together. The Raiders have a lot of problems. And one of the problems moving forward is an AFC West problem.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, those other 3, you got a dynasty. You got Jim Harbaugh has gotten the Chargers on track. And now you got Peyton and Nix in Denver. And, I mean, look, it's a quarterback and coach league, and those 3 other teams haven't figured out at those 2 vital spots. And the Raiders have a mountain to climb.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they do. Bill Williamson's our guest. Check out all of his work here. He does a great job. The content, as he said, just flows all the time. silverandblackpride.com. So when I look at this potential game, you and I have talked hundreds of times, it feels like, on putting pressure on Kelsey. And for whatever reason, they don't believe they can. They want to play a soft zone where they give Kelsey space off the line of scrimmage, or they're playing man on the outside, but they don't want to hit Kelsey because they're afraid he's going to get behind him. I pull my hair out every time they play this team because they continue to fail largely because they can't guard Kelsey. Do you see that changing, or because of the lack of depth they have on defense, they're going to have to play a zone and hope that Kelsey doesn't kill them?
Yeah, they had success at Christmas Day last year. Kelsey had a big drop in that game, and that was, I think, in the first quarter. You say, this might not be the Chiefs' day offensively. So, but otherwise, the Chiefs and Kelsey have had a lot of success. He's had one of his best games this year against the Raiders. they're going to go to him, and until they stop him, they're going to keep going to him. And I think Hopkins is getting more and more and more comfortable in that offense, and the Raiders have some things to contend with this week for sure.
What do you think, Bill, is going to be the Daniel Jones situation? An insider reported Jordan Schultz said he wasn't interested in the Raiders. I don't know exactly what's true or not, but if I was a quarterback that was coming to the end of a run in a certain market, I would consider Las Vegas to get in the building now. Get in the building now, like Daniel Jones. I'm not a big fan of him. I watched him play a lot of bad football, but he's a really good character guy. He's a great athlete. Everybody says he's an impressive leader. Jimmy Garoppolo was an impressive leader. Aiden O'Connell seems to be a guy who values leadership. But do you think other teams and quarterbacks like that in similar situations are going to pass on the Raiders or embrace saying, I want to get in there because I can maybe start on that team eventually?
Yeah, I think every person's different. If I was Daniel Jones, I would probably be with you and try to become a starter somewhere. But who knows? I mean, maybe he's just looking for a reset, trying to get in a good program and figure it out next year. But yeah, I wouldn't. If I was the Raiders, I wouldn't be offended or worried that he's not coming. I mean, it is what it is. It probably wouldn't have worked out. It's okay that he's probably not going to be a Raider, but if he was, he's just another option, and give him a chance to play a little bit this year and see if he could be an option for a bridge guy next year. I get that. I see why the interest, but it's not the end of the world for the Raiders if this guy doesn't come.
Thank you, Bill. Have a great Thanksgiving with your family. Always appreciate you.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Thank you. Take care. Bill Williamson joining us. Appreciate his insight there. Someone in our YouTube chat, Arnie Garza said, list of Raiders first-round quarterbacks ever. Dickey, Wilson, Marinovich, Jamarcus Russell. Second-round picks include Ken Stabler and Derek Carr. Can we change our historical bad luck with quarterbacks in the first round? Well, we're going to get a shot. I mean, this is an organization and no one's fault. If quarterbacks aren't available, you can't get one. But some of our recent first-round picks include Damon Arnett, Jonathan Abram, Alex Leatherwood, Cleve Farrell, Henry Ruggs. I mean, that's who we're taking in the first round. I'm anchoring the draft. I'm on stage. I'm reading the pick. I mean, the intentions of all these players when they came in via the first round was to be Pro Bowlers. You draft someone in the first round, to me, you have to be a Pro Bowler at some point. Maybe not the first year, but you eventually got to get to the Pro Bowl. You have to do that. And if you can't get to the Pro Bowl, why are you here? We could have took you in the fourth round. Dennis in the OC. Dennis, thanks for waiting. Go ahead. You're up next.
Hey, JT. Thanks for taking my call.
Yep.
I want to wish you and your family and Raider Nation happy holidays, happy Thanksgiving.
Thank you. Right back at you.
You guys do an excellent job. I listen to you, Raider Nation, from Vinny in the morning all the way through to Q in the afternoon.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
Absolutely you. As far as beating the Chiefs, absolutely. I never want my team to lose, regardless if it can bounce us up to the number 1, number 3, number 4 pick in the draft. I don't care. I still want them to win because I still hold Tom Telesco or any GM that we ever had. I feel they'll do the right thing, and they will. That's their job. That's what they get paid for. So let's not wish our team to lose because that's ridiculous. Kansas City holds the edge overall against the Raiders, and that's ridiculous. That's got to stop. And Raider Nation, stand up and don't be little pansies and say we want to lose. So we get somebody that we don't even know what they're capable of.
Yeah, thank you for the call. Any opportunity, thank you, Dennis. Any opportunity you take to beat Kansas City, you take. You just love playing Kansas City because there's a chance you can beat them. They are adding up wins against the Raiders at a monumental effect, and we'd like to stop that trend. And Kansas City hasn't played well this year, but we all know that the Raiders haven't either. But Kansas City was vulnerable in several games. I want to get Epic Raider up here quickly. Epic Raider in Colorado Springs. Happy Thanksgiving week. How are you?
Hey, JT. How you doing, man?
I'm doing well.
Thanksgiving
You too.
to you and the nation.
Thank you.
Man, first of all, I was wrong about Bo Nix. I called in earlier the year slamming on him.
Yeah.
And he's okay. You know, he's all right. But I just wanted to check in, let you know that me and G Raider is still holding it down, but life got bigger than football, man. I lost my daddy last month.
Sorry to hear that. Sorry to hear that.
Tell you what, all I want is a win, baby. I just need a win right now, JT.
Sorry for your loss, my friend. Prayers are with you over the holidays without him.
All right, brother. Anyways, let you know we're still holding it down here in Colorado, and
Great.
go Raiders.
Thank you, buddy. I'm sorry for your loss again. Appreciate you checking in. 702-365-9200, brought to you by Remy Martin. Team up for excellence. Have a Remy Martin cocktail, an old-fashioned. You can mix it in so many other great drinks along the way. Oh, excuse me, the sidecar. My wife had a sidecar at F1. Waitress comes up, what would you like? She said, do you have a Remy Martin sidecar? Absolutely. Remy Martin, team up for excellence. We'll go out to the Westgate and have a good time with Jeff Sherman. He's our gambling guy. He sets the odds. You know, we don't put these wackos on our show on Twitter who are wrong 70% of the time, but they're influencers and they want to come on and give you picks. No, we don't do that here. We put on sharp gambling people that can maybe help you win some money. We'll try to do that next with Jeff Sherman over at the Westgate on the flagship of the Silver and Black.
They got to do it legal here. I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't ever take for granted that the Raiders believed in me and they gave me a shot. And Mr. Davis even gave me a
Yeah, what's going on? Hondo Carpenter told that story. He was in the building. What story was that? I think Tom knows what he's doing. I think most GMs kind of know what they're doing. You know, McDaniels is getting paid a lot of money because he negotiated a big contract and he's no longer here. He was let go, but he deserves the money he's getting because you sign a contract. You get what you get on the way out the door. That's hard for a lot of people to handle. All right, we'll take this to the top of the hour. If I don't go to the Duke-Kansas game, we might live stream tonight, but I think I'm going to do a Wednesday night live stream for Thanksgiving, which will be a little bit different. I'll pass.
So I'm just waiting on Sherman. This is going to be a Tyree Wilson stop coming back.
Okay. Oh.
Inside the forums at Caesars, Joe's offers guests an experience that is perfect for lunch, after-work cocktails, social gatherings, to late-night dining. From private, semi-private dining for both intimate and large party gatherings. We've all seen and heard the TV and radio ads for personal injury trainers selling you on who wins more, who's largest, and who can pay the most to be called the best. If you really want to know who you should call if you've been hurt, ask the people who know, the clients.
I'm watching the video of the guy who lost all the money when Washington missed the extra point.
And see what our clients say about us. Or call 766-1400 for a free consultation. At Battleborn, your battle is our fight.
Hi, sports fans, it's the herd. In sports, we often talk about a difference maker. Well, in business, there are difference makers.
Nothing like losing money, $150,000 on an extra point.
Every new vehicle purchase, you get the 4-country difference. Free dent, scratch, and windshield repair, and key replacement for a full year. In addition to great service and unbeatable pricing, you get game-changing protection exclusively at 4Country in the Valley of Now online at 4countryhenderson.com. The president-elect has declared
No, I didn't say I'm passing on Hondo's article at all. It's all the way up there and I'm hosting a radio show. Do you actually believe I can read an article while I'm hosting a radio show? There was no disrespect at all. I'm busy doing a radio show, man. Don't have time to read articles right now.
Hey, Jeff? Yeah, I think this is receiving his phone all messed up. I'll get up and take you one sec. Hang on. This is Jeff Sherman, right?
We are the official short-term lender of the holidays. Can you break down your interest charge for me?
Raider Nation, what's your name?
Interest for the time you have the loan.
Jerome, where you calling from?
Upfront fees,
Hold on.
car title or a check.
I'm sorry, what's your name again, man?
But how much exactly?
Yeah, what's your name again, man?
interest is $2.75 a day. If you need one for 10 days, the interest is $27.50. That's it. He's offering up to $5,000 in minutes this holiday season with no fee to apply and a week of free interest to new customers. Apply online at homedepot.com.
All right, let's get some football live odds here.
Happy holidays.
Thank you. Yep.
Omaha.
Yep.
15 resorts across the state, including the Bacchanal Buffet at Caesar's Palace. Don't forget those gear credits. With your wagers on the Caesars Sportsbook Nevada app, you can unlock free parking and much more.
Must be 21. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Welcome back to
The JT Brick Show, brought to you by The Black Hole. Become a member of football's most notorious fans.
There's the snap. Nix looking to throw. Pressure up the middle. And he's sacked! Tyree Wilson with the late pressure. He's got a sack in back-to-back weeks. And they drop Nix for a loss of 11.
Jason Horowitz with some big plays in that game. Raiders lose to Denver. Now they're Black Friday in Kansas City as Jeff Sherman joins us, the VP of Risk Management over at the Westgate. And Jeff, let's start with the game last night. That got interesting. I thought Lamar Jackson was very sluggish and slow. Herbert runs for a touchdown. I was wondering if anybody was jumping in on the in game at the Westgate to get on Baltimore because I figured they'd come back in the game.
Yeah, they did, and a lot of the patrons did that, and a lot of Baltimore support in-game, pre-game too. We had liability going to that game, so it was a good game for the public.
How'd the Raider game work out? Gardner Minshew was knocked out of the game. They had another opportunity for a backdoor cover. You know, Raiders want to win the game, but sometimes covering's really important in this town. Walk us through the end of that Raider Bo Nix Broncos game.
Yeah, a lot of energy in the book with that one because the public, the Denver has been very well supported by the public recently with the streak that they've been on, and not a lot for the Raiders as they've been struggling. So the book really needed the Raiders for that backdoor when they had first and goal with a few seconds left. So the public did really well with that one.
Jeff Sherman is our guest. Let's get to Thanksgiving. And for decades, I've said, now, I'm not a fan of the Lions on Thanksgiving because for most of our life, they've been terrible. And that game's always been a bad team, the Lions. And everyone says, what a tradition. Well, it's a tradition of them losing. And now they deserve to be there. Big line movement. What am I seeing here that you have with the Lions in this game home on Thanksgiving against a desperate Bears team that most people believe have been eliminated?
Yeah, and Detroit has been excellent against the spread this year. So we opened the Lions 10.5. But saw some sharp play today on the Bears, so it's brought it down to Lions -10. We know come game day that the public will support the Lions, especially in teasers, money line parlays. So we're expecting a lot of Lions support to show up that day.
Also, was there a little bit of sharp money coming in on the Giants? They play Thanksgiving with the Cowboys. Cowboys emotionally really got up for that game, one in the nation's capital. The Giants, not much to play for here down the stretch, but they might have a regime change. The coach and GM desperately want to win in a national primetime game.
Yeah, this line started with Dallas -3. It reached as high as Dallas 4, and so we saw some buyback today by the Sharps on the Giants. So market pretty much settling at Dallas -3.5 right now.
I love the Dolphins, the way they played the last couple of weeks here. I think this is a unique game. As you and your team handicaps this game, knowing it's an elimination game for the Dolphins, they win, they get to 6-6. They lose, their 5-7, season's over. Packers, a highly emotional win against the Niners. At home again, and the weather should play a bit of an issue. It's not going to be as bad as it is in Buffalo, but the Dolphins are not a very good cold weather team.
Yeah, terrific game for the night game on Thanksgiving. And, if we were 3 flat, we'd see a lot of Packers support. 3.5 flat, we'd see a lot of Dolphin support. So you're seeing variations of those two prices. Right now we're sitting at Packers -3, -20. I think this is going to be a very well bet game. Public will be on both sides of this one, especially like you said, the way the Dolphins have been playing ever since Tua has come back in the lineup. They've been getting better each week.
Getting back to the Raiders and the Chiefs here, I see a 12.5 across most places. I want to know what you have it with the Raiders here, just Raiders just trying to be competitive here. Kansas City has owned them as of late, but that number is big from where it originally started this offseason.
Yeah, and we were 13 just a couple days ago on this, now down to 12 on the Chiefs.
Okay.
And I understand that. We've seen continuous sharp support against the Chiefs. We saw it again in Carolina, where they took the Panthers plus 11 and closed 10.5 on the Chiefs. And we're seeing it here already, where the Raiders getting 12 now from some sharp play.
Jeff Sherman, VP of Risk Management, the Westgate. Let's talk about Super Bowl odds. Any big changes now? I wanted to ask about the 49ers because they're on the verge, it feels like, of elimination, but they can still win their division and get a home playoff game and get their team healthier. So let's start with the Niners Super Bowl odds going forward.
Yeah, the highest they've been in quite a long time, a few years. We're sitting at 60-1 right now. Like you said, that can go up again if Purdy doesn't play and Buffalo handles him this week. We're going to see obviously higher than that, but 60-1. If you like what they can turn around and do right now, a lot of question marks with that though.
I think Buffalo, I'd like their odds to win the Super Bowl the way they're playing now. They look like the Buffalo of the last 3 to 5 years that were a Super Bowl contender. I don't know if I would have said that at the start of the year, but the Buffalo matchup I like against Baltimore, the Chargers, Denver, or even Kansas City if they get home field advantage throughout.
Yeah, and we're sitting at 6-1. And the interesting thing about it right now, the Lions favored at 3-1 to win the Super Bowl, which we haven't seen in my lifetime. The Chiefs at 9-2 as a second choice. Then you have Buffalo 6, Baltimore 6, and the Eagles 6. After that, the next team, Green Bay, Minnesota, is 20-1. So you're looking at 5 teams right now that have really separated themselves from the pack.
Jeff, I saw the tweet that you retweeted about Tiger Woods, disappointed he won't be in the Hero World Challenge. You're really good at golf amongst many things. What's the future look like for Tiger Woods?
It looks like just showing up for the majors next year and then maybe a tournament or two besides that. But, it's pretty much the end of what we've seen. And we've seen it the last couple of years. He's had so many surgeries, so many injuries to deal with. He just can't get it together. He has to go back under the operating table. And, he gets so well supported for the Masters because he recently won there in 2019 when he wasn't expected to. The one tournament, the one major that's on the same course. And he's had the most success with. So we'll see support for him there, but it's been waning on the other majors.
Jeff, one more spread if you can give us on the way out. UNLV, the Cannon game against Reno. So much pressure on UNLV to not overlook this game against a rival opponent that has nothing to lose.
Yeah, large spread here, 17.5 on UNLV, and hopefully they're not looking past it because if they can just win this game, then they get to play Boise in the conference championship.
Thanks, Jeff. I'll see you soon. Have a great Thanksgiving. Give the staff, everyone over there at the Westgate, a pat on the back. We love having you on.
All right, thanks. You too, JT.
All right, Jeff Sherman over at the Westgate there. Man, that's a big spread for UNLV.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I know Reno's not that good, and anybody can fight on a certain day. I was listening to Steve Cofield on the other channel when I was driving last night down to my show at the Wynn, and they got to sell tickets to this game. I mean, that second deck should be full. I mean, come on. We support UNLV. I don't dive into it a lot on the show. We do mostly NFL and Golden Knights. But I want UNLV to win and have a good time in this town, and you've got to sell tickets. That's an NFL stadium, man. NFL stadium for a big game for a team that's ranked in the top 25. Right outside the top 20. Razzie in Vegas, thanks for holding. You're up next. What's happening?
Hey, what's up, JT? Yeah, my voice is shot because I was at the game Sunday yelling my ass off trying to will us to a win. Of course I want to beat the damn Chiefs. Of course I want to beat everybody. Nobody in our division is that much better than us. It's quarterback play. No QB, no wins. So I'm torn as hell. What did we get last year? We beat the Chiefs on Christmas, kicked their ass on a run to the Super Bowl, and we missed out on a quarterback. Do I feel good right now? No. Am I going to feel good because we went on Black Friday and we miss out on a quarterback? Hell no. I don't want Danny Dimes. I don't want Jameis Winston. Let's pick a guy. At least we know he's got a half-ass chance and not these retreads. Enough of the Bulls crap. Listen, Raider Nation, I don't care where we are, represent, come to the games, yell your ass off, and let's try and win. But at the bottom line, end of it all, we're going to do jack without a quarterback. So it's incumbent upon us to go ahead and try and get that quarterback. I don't care if you got to get 3 number ones, 2 number twos. Get the quarterback. Otherwise, we're going nowhere. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, I understand what you're saying. I know a lot of Raider fans want a young quarterback, and I'm not going to argue with you on that. I'm not. And I'm going to spend a lot of time on that in March.
Yeah.
So I got to tell you, in March, I'll be doing all my radio. All of it will be on the Raiders drafting a quarterback in March. And I hope you're here in March. We all hope we're here in March, right? You want to have upside to talk about. The upside this week is it's Thanksgiving, which is a great holiday. I was born on Thanksgiving. Doesn't fall on my birthday this year, Bobby. Kind of like when my birthday doesn't fall on Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
People actually might remember it.
Yeah.
They're too busy eating on Thanksgiving and having fun. I'm going to have fun this week. Lot to be thankful for. And I mean that. And I'm thankful that I have this platform. Thanks to the bricklayers on YouTube for being here for me every day. Thanks, everybody. That's a good hour of radio. I got an interview here coming up. You can catch it on Raider Nation Radio or the Raiders mobile app. Look for an alert tomorrow. I'd really like you to join me on the Thanksgiving live stream. I'm going to have some wine, some Cabernet Sauvignon. I might have some salami and cheese, some holiday music going, and we'll all give thanks. And we'll have a lot to talk about. Thank you. Happy holidays, everyone.